Put my socks on. So excited to record this, I don't know why. Three, two, one. Greetings, Lucky Legends. My name is Lucky. This is Lucky Lad TV. I'm your host for this video, and I am so excited to record this episode. I don't know why. I really don't, because... Actually, I do know why. It's because I'm so nostalgic recording this. Because it brings back memories, and really good memories, because this is an example of a team that I am incredibly proud of. I have never lost a battle with this team, meaning a Wi-Fi battle. I've lost on Showdown, but I was able to ladder into the upper 1700s with this team on Showdown. Back when I first made it, I could probably get higher now because I've gotten better at battling. Actually, no, I probably wouldn't because the meta has changed since I built this team. However, it's still a very good team. There are certain things that this team is not a fan of. However, to the same extent, there's a lot of stuff that this team can still handle. So, I'm going to break down for you guys how this team was built originally, because a lot of people haven't seen the original bulky method team building, and I really wanted to explain it to you guys now that, you know, we've grown so much, and sort of say, like, this is what it was like way back then, and because I reference this team all the time. So, of course, the star of this team is Sweeney Todd the Mega Scizor. And I built this team. I wanted to have regular Scizor for, you know, the face of it, even though Mega Scizor is the Pokemon. I also always Mega Evolve on the first turn, because there's no reason not to. Bullet Punch, Bug Bite, Roost, and Swords Dance. It is a setup sweeper. It is one of the best setup sweepers because it is only weak to fire. However, it does get walled by fire types. But that's where my good friend Game Boy Luke comes in. Game Boy Luke is the fastest Pokemon on this team. One of the things that you hear me talk about a lot is that bulk and speed don't really go together. They just don't, unless you use a setup move like Agility. For example, Mega Ampharos is very bulky and it has access to Agility. So hypothetically, it could be very bulky and very fast. Not the case for most Pokemon. But Rotom Wash is there to devour Fire-type hits, and then I can get a Volt Switch off. Most people would predict a Hydro Pump, and I would get the Switch Initiative. Because you can't switch a Ground-type in onto Rotom Wash, because Hydro Pump will still deal a lot of damage. However, Rotom Wash is not a very big fan of other Water types or Water Ground types. It can't really deal with one Pokemon that I was very worried about, and that is Swampert. Swampert is a big problem for this team. Game Boy Luke, of course, it can go toe-to-toe with Swampert. However, if Swampert is running something like Superpower, I'm not going to do so well. However, I can Will-O-Wisp it, and then I can go into Pringles. Pringles will eat up anything that my opponent's trying to do, and I can hit it with Shadow Balls, Dazzling Gleams, Ice Beams would actually probably be... Shadow Ball would actually be the best against a Mega Swampert. But I can also recover and heal off any damage. The point of this team was whittling down your opponent. I have no grass coverage on this team with the exception of Arcanine's Solar Beam. Arcanine is designed to sort of wall other fire types and wall, because of course Sweeney Todd is double weak to fire, so I needed something that could really handle other fire types. And the reason I went with OG Legend here is because it gets the Flash Fire boost, and it is just so useful. It's the hardest hitting special mon on our team, with the possible exception of Pringles, but OG Legend hits even harder. The point of OG Legend, and if you watched my battle with Nips, in which I said it's time for a rematch, but, you know, Nips and I talk like at least once a week, and it's not time for a rematch. He has much more important things to do. Next time I'm going to be on Dayquil, though, so that's going to be fun. OG Legend was going toe-to-toe with Sylveon. Sylveon, and when I say going toe-to-toe, I mean it was literally a stalemate. Nothing was happening. It was a specially defensive Sylveon versus a specially offensive Arcanine, and it was going nowhere. Which is, but to the same extent, that's why I have Sweeney Todd. I was not able to set up and sweep with Sweeney Todd in the battle against Nips. In the battle against Nips, there was a lot of switching on my part, a lot of, you know, just chip damage, chip damage, chip damage, and that is the point of I Make Holes. I Make Holes, his job is to set up rocks with Mold Breaker. I can't get Magic bounced by anything. The point is to set up rocks and just let the chip damage pile up. It also has an air balloon. The air balloon is very useful because I can switch in onto Landorus Therian. If Landorus Therian is scarfed, which it is like 95% of the time or something like that, I can switch in onto it when it's trying to use Earthquake. And then I can easily set up my Stealth Rocks, or I can Rapid Spin away rocks if they're already there. Because Stealth Rock does not pop the air balloon, which is very convenient. The last Pokemon on this team is Hooligan. Hooligan is a late game sweeper. Why do I say that? Intimidate can force a switch and allow me to get up a free Dragon Dance. There are dogs upstairs right now. You saw the videos about my dogs. My buddy Ty is up here right now. If I had my webcam available to me, I would probably whip that thing out. But anyway, Hooligan is a setup sweeper. As you can see, it has the Lumberry and it has a lot of speed investment. It is Jolly Max Speed because naturally, Scrafty is very slow. It has base 58 speed. However, at 121, it outspeeds an uninvested base 100 speed Pokemon such as Mew. Which means that if I'm up against a Mew and I get up to +1, I guarantee that I can outspeed it, barring it being scarfed. However, if I think it's going to be... Well, if I'm up against a Mew, I'd probably switch into Sweeney Todd or into OG Legend because, you know, that would be a battle that I could probably deal with. But Knock Off, Drain Punch, Dragon Dance, and Fake Out. The Fake Out pressure is also really big. If I switch Hooligan in on a special attacker, I would go for the Fake Out. Because I don't have to... I'm not expecting them to switch because Intimidate's not an issue for them. And I also have Drain Punch for longevity purposes. Drain Punch will keep Hooligan alive. The Lumberry will keep it from being, you know, crapped out by Burn or, you know, just destroyed by Toxic. Originally, I was running a Shed Skin set. Because as you can see, it has access to Shed Skin. I was also considering running Moxie. I got rid of the Moxie idea because I have Dragon Dance and I don't really need the extra attack. And I decided to go against Shed Skin because Intimidate, like I said, can easily force a switch. Hooligan, it can't come in on Landorus Therian for free. However, it can open up against Landorus Therian. Get the Intimidate off, we would both be intimidated, but I would get a free Fake Out. Landorus Therian would not. And then I could easily Fake Out the Landorus Therian and then switch into some other Pokemon. Probably Game Boy Luke. Game Boy Luke does very well against Landorus Therian. It's immune to the Earthquake, and it can fire back a Hydro Pump and deal a lot of damage. However, the thing about this team is that, as you can see, it has two setup sweepers in the form of Sweeney Todd and Hooligan, but they're both physical. The issue with this team is that it gets walled. Well, it doesn't get walled, but it has trouble with really, really, really bulky physical Pokemon. Pokemon like Chansey. Or Pokemon like Ferrothorn. I'm not a fan of Ferrothorn with this team. Granted, OG Legend can handle Ferrothorn, however, it's, you know, my opponent wouldn't stay in. Because as you can see, with all this stuff, like Clefable, well, Clefable's not an issue because we have Sweeney Todd. Dragonite's not an issue because we have Pringles, and, you know, we can eat up some hits pretty easily. Mega Gardevoir is not an issue, Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd will destroy their face. Sweeney Todd really handles pretty much everything when you think about it. In one of my battles, I think I got up to like +4 and just started destroying things with Sweeney Todd because priority, Bullet Punch with Technician Boost, Stab at +4 just wrecks everything. It just destroys everything. And it's so good. I love it so much. But I wanted to just make this quick video to show you guys the original bulky method because I reference it so often and I've used it, you know, relatively recently in Wi-Fi battles, so I wanted to make sure to, you know, show you guys what I was always talking about. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. It's very much greatly appreciated. I'm definitely going to link the original team building video so you can see me build this team live. And I apologize for the audio quality for that. That was before I had decent equipment. But with that, I'm going to get about. Best of luck out there. I will see you all soon. Goodbye.